lastly, we're going to look at the trig ratios in a unit circle. We looked at the Pythagorean identity unit circle, so all the triangles are there. We can also actually find those other Pythagorean identities. We can find those triangles in the unit circle as well. So if we think of our unit circle, there's the radius 1. This line happens to be the tan ratio. Okay, that in a unit circle, that length is a tan ratio. If we take a look at this triangle here, we can see that that makes a right triangle, and we know that 1 squared plus tan squared, okay, equals this line squared, and this line here happens to be the secant ratio. Okay, that length is the secant ratio, so we end up with our Pythagorean identity, tan squared plus 1 equals secant squared. We can also find the other identities. Well, here we have cos squared plus sine squared equals 1. Okay. We also can, if we know which lines are cotan and cosecant, this line here is a cotangent line. So it's actually the tangent of the complementary angle. That's where cotan comes from. That line there is called the cotan ratio. So if I extend that line out, that's my cotan ratio, or that length is my cotan ratio. This line here, this hypotenuse, is the cosecant ratio. And since it's radius 1 circle, there's 1. We know that 1 squared plus cotan squared equals cosecant squared. Okay, so there's where my other identity comes from. Okay, so there are actually triangles for those other identities other than cos squared plus sine squared equals 1 squared. Okay, we can actually make the right triangles for the other identities. Okay, so cotan squared x plus 1 squared equals cosecant squared. Okay, now these ones we don't really need to remember these parts as long as we understand this one triangle, we can actually generate all the other identities out of that anyways.